Hey guys, so today I want to show you how you can make your own watercolor blocks with whatever kind of watercolor paper that you want to use. This is really great because I've noticed that a lot of watercolor brand paper doesn't come as a block form, which is actually the best way to paint watercolors or gouache if you use a lot of water where you're painting that. But I've pretty much only noticed those super expensive, I don't know, they're like $80 arche, I don't know how you say it, watercolor blocks, which is like premium paper. But you don't want to get that if you're still practicing and you're still learning. So my tutorial right now is going to be how you can do this with a Canson watercolor block. They're like super cheap. They're like $12 for 36 pages. That's what I do. Again, you can use whatever you want. Maybe there's like a mid-level paper you want to use instead, or I don't know, whatever. But the reason you want to do this is because taping your paper down really doesn't help a whole lot if you're using a lot of water when you're doing watercolors, which is kind of like what I do. I like to kind of spread the water around and mix in some other colors in that. And I've just noticed the tape, taping it down to a table really doesn't help. And actually using a block has really flattened out my little paintings, which I have one here. You can see I use large blocks of color over here and over here. And then when I tear them away, they actually turn out fairly flat. I have a couple, let me see, I have this. I have this one, which is it's not the flattest, but if I was just using tape to do this, it would warp a lot more. And this just really helps if you're you could kind of bend it the other way to flatten it a little if you wanted. But this really helps if you want to sell your paintings, even though you are kind of just starting out. But it also makes it a lot easier if you're trying to scan your work in so that you can make some prints of it. It just helps so much more when you're putting it on the scanner. I know because yeah, I've been trying to do this too. And yeah, sometimes it just one part bumps up and it just doesn't look as nice. So this should really help you. It's so easy to do. You don't really need a whole lot of things to do this. Basically all you need is paper and padding compound, which I'm gonna get to the tools in a minute here. Okay, so this is what you're gonna need to make your little watercolor block. So I feel 24 pages per is a good amount. So I'm gonna cut the paper up into fourths. So here I have 6 pages. You'll want a ruler, some kind of thicker paintbrush. This is a pretty small brush, but I feel a thicker kind of oil paintbrush works a little bit better. You're gonna want an x-acto blade, maybe a pencil if you don't have this kind of cutting mat. Mine has little ruler guides on there. You're gonna want some kind of backing board, chipboard kind of thing for the bottom. And then you're also gonna want this padding compound. So basically I got this idea because of notebooks. This is how notebooks are made. I learned this when I was working at a print shop. I would actually make their little notebooks for them. And all you do is use padding compound to do the top side. But if you do all the sides, then it's actually basically what a watercolor block is. So yeah, that's how I know this works, and that's how I know you want to use padding compound and not just any kind of glue. That's what you're gonna want. I got this off Amazon. I don't really know where else you would get it. Like, I don't know where you'd find it in like Walmart, but yeah. So this is what you're gonna need. So it's actually pretty simple. Yeah. So here I have the paper lined up to the bottom line, and I'm just gonna cut in half. So that's it's 12 inches tall. So we're just gonna cut in half along this line, and then we're gonna flip it over and cut this way. So if you don't have this kind of like ruled cutting mat, I just wanted to show you, like, this is how you can also do it. You can use a ruler to like go up halfway and then tick the edges of it. And then you can kind of like fan all the pieces out and just like go along and tick those. I was doing this for a small period of time. I don't know why, but I did find it wasn't quite as accurate as just doing all of them individually. But I guess if you don't really care if it's like more like uneven, then yeah, it's a lot faster to do it like that way. Another thing you can do is you can stack all your paper up and cut through like, so you would cut through this one and then move that sheet away and then just like keep cutting through them. And that could be a lot faster. It is a little hard to kind of like keep all like the whole stack like not wiggling around, because then that would like really mess up how you're cutting them, but it can save you some time too. Okay, so here we have the 24 pages all cut out. If you're doing multiple, you might want to count them to make sure you do have that many in there. But yeah, I feel like this is like a pretty good size to work with, because it's not too far off the page, but has like a decent amount to work with. Also, I did want to note that all like artist papers and also like printer papers too are coated on one side. So that is that's the side that is going to be the best to be working on. So you really want to keep track of, like, if you're kind of like throwing these around or something, or if you're a little messy, you really want to make sure that you have the right side up when you're layering these. Okay, so I don't actually have like this backing board isn't actually like the right size. I was just using that to show you like what I usually use, but I'm kind of like all out because like someone ordered for my shop like 9 of these. So I'm a little bit out of the backing boards right now, but you can basically use like anything that is kind of like a thicker paper. It doesn't have to be like that sort of like almost cardstock like thing, like anything that's like used for like packaging works. Like this is kind of like a thicker like paper mailer, so I'm just gonna use this because yeah, otherwise it'd be recycled, so I might as well use that. It looks kind of cool too. But yeah, you can use a variety of things. Basically anything is used for like packaging. Like for one of them I used like the K-Cups box that I was gonna throw away. Like stuff like that that's like used to like package food is pretty like durable enough to use. The reason you want to do this is because you want something to be under your very last page to hold it down. So like, yeah, you could use like another piece of, you know, your watercolor paper that's, I mean, that's kind of a waste because you could use that sheet of paper. Otherwise, like, you know, you could just like sort of like upcycle something. But yeah, just something that's like thicker than like regular printer paper, you know, kind of like a cardstocky thickness at least. also want to note that if you're kind of just like cutting up some kind of like other like box or something, you probably want to put the like inked edge on the outside, just in case like that, like so that doesn't like rub off onto your paper. So we're gonna like put this with the clean side up and then put our paper on top of it like this. Okay, so what you want to do is preferably use like a corner of a table or something, and then stack some like pretty heavy things on top of it to get the pressure to push down, preferably over into like this section. So right here I have like a smaller book that kind of fits the paper size a little bit better, and then and I threw this larger one on here because this is pretty heavy, and then threw this one into the corner to really like push that pressure down here. And then that's gonna get your paper to stick closer together. That's what you want. Normally, if you're doing this like in a print shop or something, you would have like special clamps and stuff for that. But this works like fairly well too. And you want to like kind of like hang off of there just a little bit, and don't have like the table or the books like right next to it. So kind of like this, and then you're just gonna go through there with just one coat of the padding compound. So because we do have some uneven pages, you really want to kind of like move the brush around in like different ways, and really get into like those cracks like this. And you have to go back and forth to the padding compound. Also, what you want to do is leave one corner of this unpadded. So you just kind of like go like pretty close to it like this on both sides, and that will leave you with a corner that you can that will be much easier to break the pages away when you're done painting them. Okay, so I just painted the glue on both sides. That really doesn't take a whole lot of time to dry. I'm not sure exactly how long, but we can check it out like maybe like 10 minutes. It really doesn't take that long. And in that time, you definitely want to go wash out your brush because it's gonna have a lot of that glue on there. You don't want that to dry. So just kind of like wash it out with like soap and water, and kind of like dry it off on like the towel a little bit, and we'll come back to this. Okay, so all you have to do to separate it is grab your palette knife, and I'm like trying to multitask here, and then and here is that corner that we didn't glue. So all you'd have to do is push this in here and then kind of like go along the sides, and then that will break your piece off from the whole board. Hey guys, so I really hope this tutorial was helpful for you guys. Like if you did like it, and leave me any comments if you have any, or I don't know, if you have any questions. I'll check them out. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm really liking making these tutorials. It's actually a lot better than like typing them all out on my blog, which I was doing. But if you want to see that, you can check it out over at the Studio Style. It's actually kind of like a little artist website that I made, and it also has a blog. But yeah, I'm kind of liking making these videos. They're actually going pretty good. So yeah, definitely check out my channel for more. Hopefully I'll be making more videos. I'm actually liking this a lot better than like a couple other ones I was making earlier, which is not like tutorials. But yeah, you can also check out like more of my work at Callie & Co. I have my own website and Instagram. I'll link those below. And you could also support me on Patreon if you want to. That'd be really great. I don't have like one patron, but I don't know. If you want to, that's great. I have different like tiers and stuff. And yeah.